Hi, I'm Jeff. This is Tropical Plants at 53 degrees north. So it is just after Boxing Day, day after in fact, and I thought I'd nip in here into the tropical greenhouse and give you a bit of an update on everything that's going on, because there is a surprising number of things to talk about. So I'm going to start off with the fleece. You might have been keeping up with things, and if you have, you'll know that I have been attempting to put a little bit of extra insulation into the greenhouse, starting with this fleece, something that I saw on an Instagram post by Fibrex Nurseries. It would have been down in, I think they could be in Wales. Are they in Wales? I'm not so sure, but they're south of me anyway, and they have big commercial greenhouses. So basically, here's what we've done. So we've got the fleece on the roof there, underneath the bubble, or well, on top of the bubble wrap, I guess you could say, underneath physically, but the bubble wrap is closer to the glass. And the idea is that not only will it add a little bit of extra insulation, and you can just see up there, we've got like, just through the Masdevallia there, there's like an air gap between the apex of the roof of the greenhouse and the fleece. Now I know it doesn't provide, it's not going to give me like degrees of warmth, degrees Celsius of warmth, but their take on it was that it provides a bit more of a cocoon, if you like, and it really cuts down on condensation. So, you know, I think it just soaks it up a little bit. So I've put it on the roof there. That's all finished now. I've also got it on these doors, this screen door, and if we go through here into the cooler side, I've finished doing it on the entire roof over there, right the way to the top, past the, well, that's a new one for me actually, that's a Dracula. I can't remember which one it is, because it's quite a new plant. Dracula chimera. Dracula chimera. So hopefully that'll do well for me. But you can see there the fleece is right at the top there as well. So that's it for fleece. Oh, I've also done the double doors as well. So we've got these double doors, and it really did get a lot of condensation on these doors. I think I lose a lot of heat through there. So I have kind of doubled it over here to go past where the gap would be. And obviously I've got some insulation on there as well. So I used double-sided tape to do it, so whether it'll stay for very long, it seems to have stuck so far, so we'll just have to see how it goes. So that's the first thing to mention in my greenhouse news. So let's just go back into the warm side. Bit of a vlog style, I guess, today. So I have a new fan, courtesy of Christmas presents. So this is my new turbo ventilator fan, and that is going to go down here to replace this Netta fan. And you can see it looks like something out of a petrified forest, this one at the moment. It's got that much gunk on it. It does still work, but it's not providing much of a draft, if you like. I really wanted one with like metal blades, because the metal blade ones do seem to cut through the air better and give you more of a breeze. So at the moment that's practically doing nothing, even though it's on several times a day. It's not really giving me what I needed. So a bit of research, and this came out really well, this turbo one. Quite small, not very loud. Even though it's plastic, it supposedly gives a lot of power. And that was what the reviewers were saying anyway. So yeah, that was a new present for Christmas. So that was something that was on my Christmas list. I have the weirdest things on my Christmas list. One of the other things was these little I don't know what you call them, gadgets, gizmos. So basically what they are is for going into the channels. I think that's what they're called. Am I right, Michael? I can't remember. I've probably forgotten again already. These grooves, these channels that go down the greenhouse, and what they can do, you can actually, I mean, there were some plastic ones as well, but I think these will be better. Plastic ones do actually quite easily twist and bend. So these were the metal ones, and they've got these little nuts on them as well, so you can tighten them up and have a ring. So the ring is so that you can hang things. So like I've got this boulder film here, so I could do it anywhere down this channel, which will be quite handy. So I'm hoping that's going to be something that I'm going to use a lot of. And the final Christmas present that I got was this, I think they call it mylar film, or mylar film. It's like a reflective film, and I'm going to put some of that. I mean, I'm not actually sure how much is in this packet. It doesn't look a lot, does there? But it's very, very thin. So that's going to go in places where it's dark, like you might not be able to see on the video, but under that shelving, that back wall stays dark even in the middle of summer, because I've got a double garage on the other side of that. So that would be a place that I could put it. And there's similar places dotted about throughout the greenhouse, and hopefully the grow lights then will reflect. So that's a couple of things on there. So back to plants. So I've got Miltoniopsis to show you, still not quite in bloom. So this is my Newton Falls. This was one that I bought just over 12 months ago, and I'm really pleased that it's come back into bloom. I did have one bud that blasted, and when I opened the bud up, there was a little tiny caterpillar in it. So I don't know what that was from. It's obviously, it wasn't something that I bought in like that. That's come through the window somewhere, and something's laid an egg on there. And yeah, we ended up with a little bug in it. Fortunately, for some reason, there only seems to be that one. The rest of them seem absolutely fine. And this plant's going to look brilliant because it has 1, 2, 3, 4 spikes on it. This is going to be my absolute prize Miltoniopsis possession. In fact, I was so pleased with it, I bought another one. Well, this one, not quite as exciting because there's no blooms on it, or bloom spikes. I've only had this one for a few weeks. I've repotted it already because I really need to see what's going on in that pot, and it was looking a little dehydrated in places, and the bloom, there was a bloom spike on it, and the blooms were just kind of going over, but it has a scent. It's one of those Miltoniopsis with a scent, and I don't think, oh yes it does, Miltoniopsis junit, Junit, is the cultivar. Now, whether that's a species cultivar, I've no idea. We'll have to have a look on using my newly acquired knowledge. We'll have a look and see what that is. I was very definitely, having done that video on orchid names, very definitely thinking about how I could label them in here, because obviously the more you practice doing it properly, the more kind of knowledge and skills you're going to get in that area. So it would be nice to be able to label things in the way that they're supposed to be labelled, putting capital letters where they're supposed to be, putting italics where they're supposed to be, so I could pick one up, say whether it's a species, cultivar, hybrid, whatever it is. Yeah, not doing particularly well is my Gryphon. Now, I moved this Begonia Gryphon from the cooler side because all the leaves were dropping off and yellowing, and they're still dropping off and yellowing, and it's been over here now about a month. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that, whether I'll have to have a look in the pot. I vaguely remember last year it not doing particularly well when it got round to this time of year. It might just be, you know, the winteriness. It's cold, it's humid. Even though I'm in the warm side and I've got a grow light on, this grow light is I think it was a 600 as opposed to 1000, the one that I've got in the cooler side. So in other words, it's not as bright, and I just don't know whether that's an issue. So if anybody's got experience of Begonia Gryphon, is this something that happens to it every year? I don't know. I'll have to have a dig in and have a look. So what else have we got to mention here? Kohleria. Now, Kohleria did the most beautiful blooms for me during the summer. Now, what happened with this? These are rhizomes, or they grow from rhizomes. This is one, and this is the other one. And as soon as the temperature started to drop, and it became that it was like 12 degrees in the day and night, then they both started to die back. And the general advice in the UK is to let them go dormant. Now, when I was reading up about them, I believe, and I can't remember the exact specifics, I could be wrong, you know, my memory's not brilliant, but I'm sure they come from tropical areas, and I'm sure that these areas that they come from don't experience winters. So there's no reason why they can't keep going all year. So I brought them over to the warm side, and they've put a lot of growth on since I brought them to the warm side. They have no intention of actually going into dormancy. They've grown, this one's grown this growth, and this one, and this one. So they've put growths up in different areas, like the rhizome is beginning to creep. So it'll be interesting to see how long it is before they bloom. So if you do have one and you keep it as a house plant, when it starts to get leggy, because they do get quite leggy, providing you keep the temperatures up and you keep the light up, they should keep going for you, but they will respond really well to chopping them back. So prune them back to the bottom. They grow very quickly, providing, as I say, they've got the other conditions. This one, I seem to be the only person who can't grow one of these Begonia whitei. It was doing well. Again, temperatures really knocked it back. So again, I'm wondering whether this is another one that just doesn't like the winteriness of the season. And I brought a couple more of the other begonias through. Some of them are absolutely fine. I've got some begonias in there that don't seem to be troubled at all yet anyway. But these were. So I brought them over here. Let's see if they can come back. Hippeastrums. So brought them back into growth. I had actually forced them into dormancy. I think they've probably been they were dormant about a month and a half, 2 months maybe. And they're beginning to grow again. No sign of bloom spikes just yet, but I'm confident that will come back. My papillo, tempted to call it papillo. This one started to grow as well. That cost me £20 from, I think it was a Dutch nursery, but that will no doubt not happen anymore following the Brexit negotiation. But again, we'll not get into that. I feel really miffed about that. I've just discovered these fantastic sellers abroad in Ireland and in Holland and Germany and all these places for orchids and various things, and now I don't think we're going to be able to buy from them. It's such a shame. I'm just failed to see where the benefits are. I really do, and I have all along. Again, I shouldn't go into politics, but I really can't see who's benefiting from any of this. I don't know. Okay, so that's Miltoniopsis, Kohleria, Hippeastrum. I have a couple of new plants down here that you've not seen. My Orchid Society, North of England Orchid Society, it's not mine, the one I belong to, they did a really good Zoom call the other day, and it was with a nursery called, well, not a nursery, pardon me, okay, it was with an orchid growing guy. It's a business. I don't know whether you'd call it a nursery, I'm not quite sure what you'd call it, but they were called Elite Orchids, and the guy's name was Mark, and he did a really good presentation talking about his orchids and how he's set up and so on. And he mainly grows Phragmipediums and Paphiopedilums, so no doubt Ed's had half of his stock over the years, but I thought I'd better buy one. Not that I'd better buy one, I wanted to buy one. So this one is a Phragmipedium besseyi, which I believe is a species, I think, and it really looks nice, really beautiful red colour. Now this one, again, using my newly gained knowledge, isn't from a mericlone. This one is from a seedling, so it might not be exactly like it was in the photographs. So we'll see. That's providing I can actually look after it. I've not repotted it yet. I've not had a look at the roots. I've not done anything with it other than stick it over the warm side for now, because obviously we've had Christmas in the way. And a really nice touch, I thought. He sent a very tiny seedling, no roots on it at all, but it was free. It was a free gift, and he's called it Paphiopedilum mysterianum. Now I thought, well, I kind of knew really. I was a bit tongue-in-cheek, and I looked it up just to make sure, but there is no such plant, so it's a mystery Paphiopedilum. That was the idea behind it. But you know, it's a free gift. It may well flower in about 100 years. I don't know how long these things take. Usually orchids take quite a while. Maybe Paphiopedilums don't, I don't know, but I shall try and look after it. I will look up the care needs of it. I have my other Phragmipedium in the Ainsworthy Eye in the cool side, so I'm going to have a look to see whether the besseyi is the same, whether really that should be in the cool side at this time of year. I'm not sure. So that's another new plant. I'll take you through the cold side actually, because I've got some more new plants to show you. Okay, so over here I whinged on a few occasions about the fact that the nurseries and garden centres, because of COVID no doubt, hadn't really had any nice cyclamen hybrids in, and that has changed. So there are a few cyclamen hybrids that have appeared quite recently, and I'll show you a few that I have recently bought. They're not named. They're obviously all Cyclamen persicum because it's a tropical greenhouse and the like. So We have this one, which is a really nice one. I already have a red one. This is a slightly different red one. I think that one is very similar in colour to the one that I have over here. We've got that one. This one's lovely. I like the ones that have like 2 different tones on them. I find them better. And I think you've already seen that one and that one. And that one's a new one as well, just coming up nicely there next to the Borragera, which I can still smell, by the way. Beautiful for a fragrant plant. So yeah, there's a few things to show you. My Oncidium sotoanum is finally coming into bloom. I think this one is a species. So it would be nice to get some kind of labelling gadget. I know Roger's getting a labelling thing. I did ask him actually what he was getting, but he wouldn't tell me. He was wanting me to watch the video and find out. I just really wanted to know for my own curiosity, because you research these things and it's sometimes it's like you're overwhelmed. It's like going into a restaurant with a menu with hundreds and hundreds of things on. You're overwhelmed and you just end up going for the thing that you've gone for every time you've gone in. So yeah, if anyone has any experience of labelling machines, I've never used one before, but I thought it would be quite handy to be able to print my own labels and print them in the way that they should be written. It will certainly help me in the future. So yeah, that's looking really nice. My Epidendrum, now what is this one? Comet Valley, something like shooting star? No, completely wrong. Epidendrum ballerina. So this one was the second Epidendrum that I bought, and this is its second blooming. Now, we did talk at one point about how my other Epidendrum, for some reason, just suddenly, and it was all in full bloom, but it suddenly just dropped every single leaf, and it just didn't. I mean, it looked horrendous. You can see there the leaves that's left are looking horrendous, but I sprayed it. I couldn't see anything on it, but I thought, right, well, this is something clearly going wrong with it. Let's spray it with a systemic. And it started sprouting again, and there's some new canes coming up. So it remains to be seen whether I've saved that. But if you look at this one, so this was the newer one, this has also started to get this on its leaves, these old, like, quite rough textured markings on the leaves. So they shouldn't really do that, should they? Pretty sure they shouldn't. So what I ended up doing, I've sprayed this one as well, just to make sure that there's no kind of little mite lurking, because as I pointed out in one of my other videos, the Cyclamen mite, the tarsonamid mite, there's a slug over there, look, can you see it? You just wonder how they get in, don't you? I think I've like totally sealed up every little gap. I'll have to go and get that later. So yeah, this one clearly has tarsonamid mite on it. It's happened to me before. This is quite typical, this puckering, and they go quite hard. I have now sprayed this, and it has actually started to put quite a lot of growth on since I sprayed it. I guess eventually the new leaves won't have that puckering on, and I expect it to bloom, hopefully. I will probably need to spray it again, because these little mites are quite resistant to chemicals. So I know I've shown you this twinkle before, but it's looking really nice now that we've got all the rest of the blooms coming out now. Quite a few spikes on it. And I've said this before, but I prefer the fragrance of Oncidium twinkles than I do to the Oncidium Sherry Baby. It still smells really nice, and there's still some nice big blooms on the Sherry Baby, but I just prefer the twinkle smell. To me is stronger, the fragrance is stronger. That's looking really nice, isn't it? The Dendrobium. There's no way I'm going to remember all these. These Dendrobiums have such long names. I don't know whether that means that they've not registered it as a cultivar, although the cultivar, I mean, who decides whether it's a cultivar or not? That's something I never actually found out. I know I did read that it said if it's like decided that it's got some particular special characteristic, or it's particularly good in cultivation, they give it a cultivar name, but I don't know who decides that. So yeah, so this is Dendrobium sulloesiense crossed with cuthbertsonii, crossed again with sulloesiense. So I don't seem to have killed them yet, so just have to keep my eye on them. At least I can see now whether they are dry or not, now that I've got them into some see-through transparent pots. That slug is really annoying me. It's going to go somewhere where I can't find it. I better go and grab that, and then I'll come back to you because there's just a couple more things to mention. Okay, that's slug dealt with. So what else have we got? Masdevallia. So I had a new Masdevallia over here that I got a couple of weeks ago. Again, I don't know if I've shown you this. I don't think I have. It's got a few nice little blooms on it there. Obviously, it's not as good as it would be if it had been growing here for a while. So this one is, let me have a look. And I got this one from the German seller, which I forget, gross something or other. Masdevallia amabilis. Really nice one there, and that's just next to some little lithops, which I think I have shown you, and I definitely did lose one of them. I know I did read when I was having a look at them that lithops will actually produce new leaves at some point, and the old ones will rot. Although that one's rotted, but I don't see it producing any new ones. I think that's just it's just not made it in transit. But the other three are absolutely fine. They're looking nice and healthy. And this Masdevallia is coming back now, so I'm quite pleased with that. I'll be glad when it loses all these sun-damaged leaves, but there's lots of new leaves coming on it, and hopefully it will get some spikes pretty soon. Another new plant over here. It's not actually what I thought it was when I sent off for it. It's a tiddly little thing. So it does have a few synonyms to it. Anathalis linearifoliar. I think I saw it named as a certain sort of Pleurathalis as well. It's either these are either the flowers, or it's just not open yet, or they've opened and fallen off. I'm not entirely sure. They're that small I can hardly see them, and the camera's struggling to focus on them. So if anybody knows anything about that, put that in the comments. I think that's going to be one for the future. It's not going to be one for the immediate present, I don't think. Okay, and the last thing we're going to look at are the streps are now getting ready for the winter tidy up. So you can see I've already started doing some of them, and you can see how the yellowing leaves do change. If you pull them off, you find that they start growing these darker green leaves, but we've still got some with yellow leaves down there. So they're definitely getting ready for a tidy up. It's hard to actually make that decision, especially when you've still got blooms on them. And these crystal ice varieties, even though they're meant to carry on all through winter, I do find that they do like a nice little bit of a tidy up. So I might make a video on that. You can see all these old spikes here, and what they end up doing, all these old spikes, they just kind of squish everything up together, and they've no room to grow. So you need to take all that stuff out. And the same on this one here. They've just got too many yellow leaves. It's too crowded in there. Nothing else is going to be able to spread and grow in there. Obviously, if you're going to repot it, then you're going to need to do a tidy up. But some of these that are in the big black pots, they don't need repotting. They've only been like that for this year. But I've still got quite a lot in the smaller pots that are probably ready for a tidy up and a repot. Like, for example, this Harlequin one. This was a new one this year, but it probably would benefit from a repot. It's a beautiful variety. And I think possibly that is all my news for today. So what else? I've showed you this one loads of times, this Coelogyne, but it just keeps coming and coming and coming. Every time I think it's finished, then we get another bloom on it. Fantastic bang for your buck there. And I'm still waiting for this Oncidium Twinkle to come out, just to hide all those horrible leaves. Really, it'd be nice, but when it comes, it really does look spectacular. And I'm sick of this little thing here. I don't know whether to remount the whole thing and stick that on. I don't know why I divided that off. Bit daft, really. My Dendrobium kingianum has not shown any signs of blooming this year. These are the old bloom spikes. Nothing really much has happened. We've had a couple of new canes on them there, but they're only quite small. So I think it may miss it this year. I'm giving it a bit of a winter rest. Again, I get varying degrees of how much winter rest you should give it in comments. Some people say, well, they grow in Australia, but they do get water on them. Other people say no, give them a total winter rest, otherwise they just produce cakeys. So I'm just doing my own thing. I'm actually cutting back on the watering quite a lot, and when I can see it's totally dry, and it's been totally dry for a while, I might give it a little splash. I don't know. I'll decide at the time. It's up to me, isn't it, really, what I do with it. The berry odour has got quite a number of bloom spikes on it. It's certainly not blooming from every cane, that's for sure. I think I vaguely remember somebody saying that they can bloom from the older canes. There's no reason why they shouldn't, but this one isn't. It's just blooming from the newer canes. But, you know, bloom's a bloom. Some people can't bloom them at all, so I'm quite happy with that. And I think we'll leave it at that. So that's the news for today. I hope you enjoyed the greenhouse news. It may be the last one of 2020. So if it is, I wish you the very best for the new year. I'm pushing on for the 2000 mark now, which is actually a lot sooner than I thought. And I know I don't say this enough because I'm usually that focused on what the heck I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'll lose my thread. But I really, really do appreciate everybody who enjoys coming along the journey with me, and especially those who help me out, because I'm certainly not the font of all knowledge on this stuff. Don't forget, just over 12 months ago, I'd never come across anything other than a Phalaenopsis. So it's all still very new to me, and I'm learning a lot as I go. And I hope, you know, I teach you a few things just as you teach me a few things as well. So I really do appreciate everybody's support and comments, and have a great new year. And we very, very much hope that next year is more of the kind of freedom that we're all used to, and that we have probably fought a long time for over the many, many millennia. Well, not millennia, many, many centuries to gain. We don't want to lose it, do we? So let's hope that we all get vaccinated and that we're all ready to go and meet each other again. Because if this Christmas has taught me anything, as if I didn't know anyway, but as if it's taught me anything, it's about people. Much as I'm a bit of a loner at times, it's great to meet up with people and to speak to people and to learn things from people. And really, that's what it's all about, isn't it? And that's what we've not had this Christmas, unfortunately. And this new year is going to be the quietest new year I think we'll have had for my entire 52 years on the planet. But that's the way it goes. Well, this is some light at the end of the tunnel, even though it does seem to still be quite a long tunnel. Okay, I'll shut up. Have a great time, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye.